Brothers and sisters, this is part 2 on Genesis 1 through 5 and our spiritual gifts. Um, and in this, I'll also go into a little bit of Proverbs. Um, so I just want to start by saying it's super it's it's so hard sometimes when you get this massive download in the spiritual, and then you try to put it into the physical the best that you can. And in the last video, I pray that you guys made it through it. I know that I had to read some of it, and that it was hard when you have to read it. But there was so much coming at me that I had to read it, otherwise I would have forgotten everything. And so I pray that you made it through that, because understanding the golden cords that come from, the light of the sun, which is the male energy, and then the water, the living water, holding the intelligence of creation, that is the mother energy, the energy of mother from creation, and truly stepping into now healing the nations and understanding Genesis 1 through 5 and what the void is and how a new heaven and earth are being created. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to this whiteboard, and we're going to talk about a couple more things. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. You might have to zoom in on your screen, but hopefully you can see this. Okay, so we're going to talk about the healing water, and turning the negative into the positive, and so as we see Genesis 1 through 5, the waters were created. We talked about the water being the womb of both the earth and mother in the physical. And we're going to talk about this water. So water is reflective. And so as this healing water comes to heal the earth, okay, that's how we get the mirroring process of the bridge being gap between heaven and earth. So on earth as it is in heaven, the water is truly what mirrors heaven and earth. So that we can see it upon the earth. And so that what's being done on earth is in heaven is being done upon the earth. The water is the key in all of it, because it does hold creation from both mother and father. And so their intelligence of all of creation is held within this water. So this water coming forward and healing our DNA is super important in order for a new heaven and earth to be created. So the water is the mirroring process. So in this, I'm going to take you really quick to Proverbs 3, and it's in verse 20, and it says, "By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew." Okay, the dew from heaven is the water. The water is dropped down. And what is broken up? Okay, all of everything that I've been talking about, healing our tapestries of life, healing all the negative energy, we have to elevate the frequency of this earth. And so we take that negative frequency and we cast the net onto the right side of our brain and turn it into positive frequency. Okay, in the process of that is healing. That's healing the earth's frequency. Okay, and in the process of it, I talked about in the previous video how we heal our DNA strands, we heal the generational curses, the traumas, the false beliefs, all of it. And these golden cords, the light from the sun, is what is woven in these golden cords, DNA strands. Okay, and there's 24 and 24, and I hope that that's correct. I think I counted them, but and that equals a 48. And they're fused back together with the living water. The living water is the blue light. So you have gold from the sun, the light of the sun, and the sun represents Father, and you have the living water, which is the womb of Mother. You have the living water. So you literally have the Father and the Mother, and it is the weaving back together of the tapestry and the fusing back together of our DNA cord of male and female energy. That's healing. Through this process, I talked about how that light, that golden light, the strand is connected from our crown to our root chakra, and then the living water, those cords are fused back together, and the living water is poured through our crown to our root chakra. And so it fuses everything back together, puts our brain back in this, in basically this state of creation, so that our brain is functioning the way it's supposed to, and we're not stuck in these loops and negative ways of thinking. So the earth has to be elevated in order for this shift to take place. We have to shift from the negative, the darkness, into the light. And this is part of that shift. It's shifting back into who we truly are authentically. And that comes through this process that was explained in the last video. And so if you didn't make it through the last video, I read a section and then I explained this board. So please go back and watch that video if you have not, so that this makes sense. So hopefully we can see how important the living water is. The living water brings life into creation. The living water is the reflection. The living water heals, with Father and Mother both, it heals our spine. It heals our DNA strands, okay? It heals our mind and rewires it back to our creative state. So this healing process is really important. If any of you would like to know more about this healing process and how it is done, please reach out to me on my email. I would be more than happy to spend some time helping people understand this, because this concept is so important for the healing to take place. So may that help us understand more fully the importance of not only the sun and the light, that golden light that comes from the sun, because that is Father's, but also the living water that comes from Mother. So both are reflective lights. The golden light is reflective from the sun, and the water, the living water from the womb, from Mother, is reflective. They are both reflective. They are working together as one. Okay, so people say that they're two different beings. They're not. I mean that they're God is both male, female. No, they are two separate beings that have become one. So they work together as one. They are fused together as one. So may this help us see the importance of a new heaven and earth being created. This has to be understood. And as all of this energy comes forward, as the earth begins the travailing and cleansing and shifting and all that, if our energy fields are not in alignment, this shifting is going to be very negative, and we are going to feel all of that, especially for those who are healed. We need to help these people. That's part of the 12 tribes of Israel, is to help heal the nations from all the negative, all the false traditions, generational curses, traumas, everything that this world has created. Our job is to help heal it, and that's what this process does. So may this help us understand this in more depth. And please take it to Father, Mother, and Yahshua for yourself. Have a glorious day.